All right, so we enjoy complaining. But seriously, how else would we get some sort of outlet for the pent-up frustration we are forced to deal with? We are presented by our fellow beings suffering as much as we do with no options. Because everybody wants to just, have no sorrows and be free and happy and do what we want or do something we're good at or, and the fitting in is so extremely important, and I suppose that it always was. In the olden days, the guys that didn't fit in were the artists, and I guess to some extent that's still true. And still, if you were a farmer, it made sense to you that you had to make the food. It made sense to you that you had to chop the wood, that you had to build a house, that you had to tend the cows. It made sense, the things that you were doing, and now we're phone sales representatives, we're customer services representatives, and we're far away in many ways from that, clear cut, I make food, I need food kind of thing. So back to the complaining, because I just passed a lady that I know, and what she said, well, it's just been so much, what with the being signed off sick and the trouble here and the trouble there, and my first thought was the new age thought, well, think positive, look at the positive side, look at the good side, look at the, try to pull yourself up by the back of your neck. And then I realized, no wonder she's complaining. She's been stuck in the same life that she's been made to believe she cannot escape. We're made to believe we can't escape the life we're in, and we all know how hard it is to get out of the beliefs that we have been instilled in us when we were children, kids. So some of us do it and some of us don't, and I just felt a surge of compassion for her. She's empty. Her batteries are flat. Her energy bank is wiped out. How are we supposed to get up and smile? How are we supposed to find that positive what? So my proposal to you right now is this. Sit down. You can, whatever you're doing, you can probably put it off 5 minutes. And if you can't put it off 5 minutes, you can always pause me and come back to me. So sit down. And just feel your rear end hitting the chair, or the sofa, or the floor, or the bed, or just a stone wall that you happen to walk past, or flat out concrete because you just sat down on the street. Just sit down. And notice how the chair is holding you. Or the concrete, or the sofa, or whatever. Notice how you don't have to use any muscles to hold yourself up. And if you do, shift a little. And whatever, you don't have to levitate because there's ground underneath to support wherever you're sitting. So here we are, and we've sat down. And then notice the thing that you complain about the most, your health or your childhood, or your husband or your wife or your financial situation or the fact that you can't get a date or whatever it is that bugs you the most. And notice how it makes you feel. Just notice how it makes you feel. You know, if it's your job. A lot of people have struggles with their work. If it's your job, then notice it. Notice your job. Notice how you feel about it. And allow that feeling to be here. And you know, notice, if you can, that there's nothing wrong with how you feel about it. It's like you're trying to tell yourself something. And it's not certain that you're trying to tell yourself what you think you're trying to tell yourself, and, you know, it's likely that you know what that means, too. And the truth is a lion. So you don't have to fight for it or defend it, because it can take care of itself. So whatever is true for you will emerge. And my invitation now is just be here. Be with what you're feeling. So notice what you feel about your job, and then just how can you help it? Your job's driving you nuts, or it's stressing you out, or it's suffocating you, or demanding too much of you, and there's nothing left for you in here. And, you know, no small wonder. You're allowed to feel this way. And I notice now how my tummy clenches, and it's just tying itself into a knot. And that's fine. And as I say that, I notice how tears come to my eyes. And I notice how much I've struggled with this, how long I've struggled with this, to fight myself into a job that doesn't feel good. And immediately I notice how my, sensibility comes in and says, well, you gotta make money. You gotta pay your mortgage. You gotta, pay for the car and pay for the gas and pay for the food and pay for the house and pay for the whatever. You have to pay. And that's a busy little sucker, and it's okay. It's trying to protect me, so that's okay. It's here because I asked it to be. And then I noticed this enormous hollow feeling. Where I've been trying to fetch energy to perform my daily tasks, my duties, my commitments. And I'm so tired. And if that's not exactly how you're feeling, then that's fine. Notice how you're feeling. Notice how sad and lonely that feeling feels, because we're just not seeing it. We're just not, tending to it. We're not listening to it, because we say that feeling is not okay. Because I have to go to work in the morning, and I have to pay my mortgage, and I have to pay for food. So my feeling is not okay. And, feelings don't really care about that. because feelings are the lion of truth. They will fight for themselves. Right? So, the empty feeling, the sad feeling, the frustrated feeling, the defeated feeling. It's natural. It's normal. Everybody have them. And right this moment, right here and now is just about you. It's just for you. So imagine, my arms reaching out to hold you. And if you don't want that, you can just nod, right? And if you'd like me to hold you, imagine for a moment that I am. And I'm the kindest, wisest, sweetest, warmest, most welcoming person you've ever talked to. And although that's not always true, let it be that now. Let that be what comes to you now. And just imagine me however you want me. Like long hair, short hair, long arms, short arms, holding you tight, holding you soft. And let that feeling that hurts you so much, that feeling that makes you want to cry, let that feeling, come into my arms. Let that feeling come into my arms and let me hold you with that. Let me really embrace you. And I'll be here as long as you like. And if you cry now, please, it's a good sign. And if you don't worry. Just be whoever you are at this moment. And if you want to get up and rage, if you want to get up and run for me, that's fine too. Notice the getting up and running. There's nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong with you. We're just not trained. We're just not trained to meet our emotions. And because we're not trained to meet either our emotions or other people's emotions, the emotions aren't met. And you know what emotions do when they're not met? They gather. And then they talk to you relentlessly. And we try to shut it out with the TV or the shopping or the eating or the romance or the alcohol, the partying or whatever. So my invitation now to you is just this. Come here, be as you are. Be as you are. Let your heart be here, free as you are now. And if you want to get up and run, then get up and run. Because I'll be here. You just have to hit the play button, and I'll be here. If you get up and run, just consider it a free choice. Paying attention. Pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to how it goes. if you want to get up and run while I hold you, do that. Do just that. Pretend that my arms are around you as you run. And some of you may now notice a relief. You may notice how it feels pretty sweet for someone to welcome you that totally. And I tell you, I may not feel comfortable, to do that if ever we meet. I might want to, but I probably won't feel comfortable. So just in this moment, theoretically, anything is possible. Even the complete okayness of whoever you are. And the worse you think you is, the worse you think you are, the more love you need. Because it is true that saying, love me the most when I deserve it the least, because that's when I really need it. It's so true. And I know that we passed our 5 minutes deadline. So I hope that whatever you were doing, that it's okay. And I hope that our little talk here left you feeling a little bit loved, a little bit welcome, and a little bit safe. And you're welcome to come back at any time. And tell me how you feel. Tell me what you think. Write the comments below. I read as many of them as I can. Alright? I bless your day. Bye-bye.